Okay, yeah. So yeah, so welcome to 4 by Academy, and this is our lecture number 10 of solid state physics. So in today's lecture, we will discuss about the superconductivity. It's a very important topic, and we will discuss about the critical temperature, critical magnetic field, Meissner effect, thermodynamic properties of superconductors, BCS theory and Cooper pairs, and some previous year's problems. Okay, so superconductivity is a very interesting phenomena. Okay, so it is basically discovered by the Dutch physicist Kamerlingh Onnes. Okay, and he discovered the phenomena of superconductivity in 1911. Okay, and he was awarded by Nobel Prize for this interesting superconductivity theory. Okay, so what he did in his some experiment, he was performing some experiments. Okay, and for some other experiments. Okay, so what he saw that for mercury, okay, you can see this is a graph between the resistance and the temperature of this mercury. Okay, and he saw that when this material is cooled below a certain temperature, you can see here, you can see here here it is showing some resistance for different values of temperature. But if we go below this temperature 4.2 Kelvin, the resistivity, the resistance is zero. The resistance is zero, means at this temperature and below this temperature 4.2 Kelvin, the resistance of this material mercury is zero. So if resistance is zero, what resistance basically does? Resistance is something which offers the we can say disturbance and the obstacle in the path of current. Okay, so there is no resistance, so there is no disturbance, means it is behaving like a conductor, very very good conductor. And he named such kinds of conductor as superconductors because the resistance is totally zero. So this particular phenomena, when the resistance of a particular material is nearly zero or zero, if so, such kind of materials are known as superconductors. Okay, so superconductivity is basically a physical property, and it is observed in certain materials. Okay, not all the materials are superconductors, only few materials possesses such kind of property where the electrical resistance vanishes. Okay, and from which the magnetic flux fields are expelled. Okay, so this is a very interesting superconductivity. So now we will discuss about the critical temperature. Critical temperature means what? This temperature below which the material, the resistance of the material is zero. So this particular temperature is different for different kind of material. For mercury is it is 4.2 Kelvin, but for other materials it will be different. So it is basically the property of the material, characteristic property of the material. Okay, so this particular temperature is known as transition temperature or critical temperature, means the temperature at which and below which the material is behaving as superconductor. It is this temperature is known as transition temperature or critical temperature, and it is represented by Tc. Okay, and yeah, and in statistical physics you will learn about the phase transition. Okay, so the phase transition here, the phase transition is occurring. Okay, so Tc at Tc a phase transition from normal to superconducting states occur, because below this temperature we have mercury, but it is in normal state, sorry, it is in superconducting state. And above this temperature the material is in normal state, means a normal material. So at this point your phase is changing. So this point at this point the phase transition is taking place. Okay, so superconductor are also show the phase transition at transition temperature. Okay, and as we have said that this is basically the characteristic property of your material, so it will be different for different kind of materials, and generally it is below 20 Kelvin. Okay, we get the behavior of this superconductivity for less than 20 Kelvin temperature. So it's a low temperature phenomena. So next thing, isotopic effect. Okay, this is very uh, interesting effect of the your superconducting material. Okay, so the critical temperature Tc of superconductors depends on the isotopic mass of the material, and it varies with this atomic mass m. Okay, means if you have a material and the mass of the your superconducting material, isotopic mass of the material is m. So this Tc means critical temperature depends on this isotopic mass in this way, means Tc is proportional to m to the power half. Okay, means if higher the atomic mass, so that means that this temperature, this transition temperature will be low. Okay, and one more interesting thing, you have already studied about the Debye temperature in Debye's theory. So this Debye temperature also relate with this isotopic mass in this way, means theta d m to the power 1 by 2 is constant, or you can say theta d is proportional to m to the power minus 1 by 2. So we can combine these two relation and we can find out the relation between Tc means critical temperature and also theta d, that means Debye temperature. So when you will combine these two equations, what you will get, that Tc upon theta d is constant, or you can combine all the three relation. So critical temperature is proportional to theta d, Debye temperature, and they both are proportional to m to the power minus 1 by 2. So this is quite important relation. Okay, because in problems in examination, like some relation is given about device temperature, or maybe about atomic mass, isotopic mass, and they will ask about the behavior of critical temperature. So this relation is easy and very important. So one more important phenomena about the superconductors is Meissner effect. Okay, and this effect is also known as uh, Oceanfeld effect, and this behavior, this effect is given by in 1933. Okay, so what is this behavior? It's basically if you have a we can say this is basically your superconductor. Okay, so at certain parameter, at certain we can say conditions, complete exclusion of magnetic field lines is taking place. Now you can see here, these are the magnetic field lines. Suppose your superconductor is placed in a magnetic field, right? So these magnetic field lines will cross your superconducting material. It's a natural thing, right? And you can see the condition is this: the temperature is greater than Tc, means this is basically when your temperature is greater than critical temperature. Now you can see the second image. Okay, we what we did, magnetic field is same, our superconductor is same, but we just lower the temperature, we just lower our temperature below this critical temperature. So you can see that initially these magnetic field lines which were passing through the materials, now they are not passing through the materials. And if you can see, like, there is some exclusion of these lines. Okay, like some force is inside, some magnetic force or electric field is inside the superconducting material, and that due to the effect of this field, all the magnetic field lines expelled out through your material. So this interesting behavior is basically known as Meissner effect. Okay, means your superconducting materials expels out all the magnetic flux lines if it is cooled below the critical temperature or the transition temperature. Okay, and this behavior, this kind of behavior is known as perfect diamagnetism, because at this temperature below Tc, your superconducting material is behaving as a diamagnetic material. Okay, and the effect will be same, means suppose you have a superconducting material and initially you decrease the temperature of your superconducting material below Tc, and after that you switched on the magnetic field. Okay, so the behavior will be same like this. Okay, so okay, for superconductors V equals to 0 inside. Okay, so in this way, because all the lines are outside, there is no line, flux line is passing through your material, so we can say the magnetic field is 0 inside your device, inside your superconducting material. So for this superconductor, your total magnetic field will be mu naught H plus M. Okay, so H is basically, we are talking about magnetic field. It's B equals to mu H, you all know. And M is due to the magnetization, because when your material is placed inside the magnetic field, it is, there will be some magnetization. Okay, so as we are saying that uh, uh, this B equals to 0, total magnetic field inside the material is 0. So if B equals to 0, this H will be minus M. And what is the formula of susceptibility? You in next lecture we will learn about the magnetism inside the solids. Then you will learn about the different kind of like paramagnetism, diamagnetism, and ferromagnetism. Then you will clearly learn about the these things, susceptibility. So susceptibility is basically the ratio of mh. Okay, so m over h will be minus 1. So this property, when your susceptibility is minus 1, so this is the condition for diamagnetic material. So it means your superconducting material is behaving as a perfect diamagnetic material. So this is also very, very important. So this is all about the Meissner effect. Okay, so now one more important thing, critical magnetic field. Okay, critical magnetic field of superconducting material. So Kamerling observed that when we have a superconducting material, so this material can regain its normal state, okay, below the critical temperature. Okay, if it is placed in sufficiently strong magnetic field, means you have a superconducting material, okay, and it can, okay, and your superconducting material is below Tc, means your T is less than Tc. So when T, temperature of your material, is less than Tc, that means obviously your material is superconducting. So in this stage also, in this condition also, you can convert your superconducting material into normal material if you apply a sufficiently high magnetic field. So that field at which the superconducting material changes to the normal material is known as critical magnetic field. You can see this image. You can see this image. This is the magnetic field versus temperature graph. Okay, so you can see this is the critical temperature Tc. Okay, and below this temperature, your material will be. Uh, Please go on mute, guys. So you can see below Tc your material will be superconducting material, right? So what you did here, you are applying, suppose you are applying a field, a magnetic field Hc. So at Hc equals to Hc0, means when your magnetic field is Hc0, you can see that your material is going to the normal state. Okay, so this field at which the superconductivity disappear, okay, below Tc is known as critical magnetic field. And the formula of critical magnetic field is this, means your Hc equals to Hc0 1 minus T over Tc to the power 1 by 2. Okay, so what is this term Hc0? It's basically critical magnetic field, critical field at T equals to 0 simply. And this is the critical field at temperature T. Okay, so when you will put T equals to Tc, it will, this term will cancel out, and your it will be 1 minus 1 0. So your Hc at T equals to Tc will be 0. Okay, so this is the very important formula. Okay. Any confusion so far?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, good. So guys, um, on the basis of few things, means on the basis of the behavior of these superconductors inside the external magnetic field, we can divide the superconductors in two categories, type 1 and type 2. Okay, so we have two types of superconductors. So what are the type 1 superconductors? Type 1 superconductors, also known as soft superconductors. Okay, so the superconductors which strictly follow the Meissner effect, okay, they are known as type 1 superconductors. You all know what is the Meissner effect. What is the Meissner effect? When below Tc, your superconducting material is behaving as a perfect diamagnetic material. So this is the Meissner effect. So the material, the superconducting materials which are strictly following this Meissner effect are known as type 1 superconductors. Okay, and uh, when your magnetic field is greater than Hc, means greater than critical field, the field completely penetrates the material and then it reverts back to its normal state. Okay, so because you all know, so and this why we are saying the superconductors, type 1 superconductors as soft superconductors, because here the required magnetic field, the required magnetic field, that is the critical magnetic field, okay, uh, is very small, means at zero point 0.1 Tesla field we can easily convert the superconducting material into normal material if we are at below critical temperature. So due to the low value of this magnetic field, we are saying that as we can easily convert our superconducting material into normal material, so that's why these types of superconductors are also known as soft superconductors, right? So you can see here, this is the magnetization versus applied magnetic field. Okay, so you can see this is a type 1 superconductor. So you can see at Hc, okay, your Hc, your superconducting material, you can see initially your magnetization is increasing, and at this point it is like this, 0. So complete penetration is occurring, means your superconducting material is no longer superconducting material at Hc. So this is the Meissner effect. Okay, so they are strictly following this effect, this behavior, so they are type 1 superconductor. Now in type 2 superconductors, you can see here, you can see here there is no sharp transition. Okay, you can see in type 2 superconductors we have two critical magnetic field, Hc1 and Hc2. Okay, you can see initially when your Hc equals to Hc1, okay, the penetration is occurring, means here the magnetization is maximum and below this you can see it is reducing. So that means your magnetic field is now penetrating your superconducting material, okay, from here to here. And from you can see at Hc2, when your critical magnetic field is Hc2, your magnetization is 0, means total penetration of your superconducting material is occurring at this point. So at this point your material is now normal material. So in type 2 superconductors, they are not strictly following Meissner effect, okay, and so we need we need high magnetic field to convert this material into normal material. So that's why they are known as hard superconductors also. Okay, so you can see you can see this figure. This is basically critical magnetic field versus temperature. So uh, kind of thing, okay, means at for type 1 superconductor at Tc you required only this, at Tc and below Tc you required only this Hc critical field, but for type 2 superconductors you have two critical magnetic field, and at Hc2 complete penetration occur and at Hc1 penetration start. So what are the difference between type 1 and type 2 superconductors? So type 1 superconductors are low temperature superconductors. Okay, and they are basically pure metals. Pure metals are basically type 1 superconductors. Okay, and they strongly obey Meissner effect. They are perfect diamagnetic in nature, and a low value of Hc can completely destroy the superconductivity. Okay, on the other hand, your type 2 superconductors are high temperature superconductors, and they are basically alloy and intermetallic compound. Okay, and they partly obey Meissner effect, does not easily lose superconductivity. That's why they have two critical magnetic field and much high, relatively high magnetic field. So these are the basic and common difference between these two types of superconductors.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
What is intermetallic compound?
Intermetallic compound, like they are not, we can say they are nearly semiconductors. We are talking about the semiconducting material, means they are not pure metals. Okay, they are not pure metals. They have some property of metals and some property of non-metals also. So we can say
Okay,
semiconductors
ma'am.
materials also uh, come this category. Okay, so there is a relation between the critical magnetic field and the coherence length. On next slide, I will talk about the coherence length. What is the coherence length actually? So this is an important formula. So I mentioned here, and for this formula is for type 2 superconductor. Okay, and this is the relation between the critical magnetic field, first critical magnetic field Hc1, and this coherence length lambda. Okay, and what is this phi naught? This is basically the flux. Okay, magnetic flux which is inside your superconducting material. So the relation is this: Hc1 equals to phi naught upon pi lambda square. So you need to remember this formula. Okay, this is the experimentally calculated formula, and we have sometimes problems based on this topic, this relation. So now let's see what is this penetration depth lambda. Okay, so you can see this figure. Okay, this is the magnetic field versus distance. So uh, it is inside your superconductor. Means when you are applying, means your magnetic field on your superconducting material. So as we are saying that initially the magnetic field is not penetrating your material, but as you can see, slowly it is going to penetrate. So the behavior of this field decreases exponentially inside the semiconductor. Means suppose here is the source of magnetic field, you can see. So at the surface your magnetic field will be He0. But as you are going inside, you can see the magnetic field is decreasing exponentially. So this is the exponential graph. Okay, so how you can relate? The mathematical term is Hcx, that is the magnetic field at x, okay, equals to He0 e to the power minus x upon lambda L. So He0 is the magnetic field at the surface, and what is this lambda L? This lambda is the basically characteristics length, or also known as penetration depth of the field. Okay, so the definition of this penetration depth is, it is basically the distance inside a superconductor where the magnetic field reduced to 1 upon E of its value at the surface. Means if you will put x equals to lambda L here, if you will put x equals to lambda L here, what will be the this term, exponential term? It will be minus 1. Okay, it will be minus 1. So simply you can say that your He equals to He0. Okay, and e to the power minus 1. So 1 upon E will be here. So you can say that penetration depth, this lambda is basically the length at which the value of the magnetic field at the Yeah, like this, where the magnetic field reduced to 1 upon E of its value at the surface. So this is the definition of penetration depth. Okay, and this is basically for superconductors, the order of this lambda L is 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 4 angstrom. So in 1 mark, sometimes you can have different options, and you have to answer the rough or nearly uh, the order of coherence length. So for superconductors, this is the range. Okay, so this is the little bit about your penetration depth. So now we will discuss some thermodynamic and optical properties of superconductors, means like entropy, specific heat. Okay, so these are the thermodynamic properties of superconductors. So they also changed. Okay, once you are like some transformation is occurring from normal to superconducting state or superconducting to normal state. So these properties are also changing. So first, let's discuss about the entropy. So in some experiments, what we observed that when we are uh, like you can say here, some transformation is occurring, okay, from normal to superconducting state. So there will be a sharp decrease in entropy. Okay, so at this Tc, you can see in this image, this is entropy versus temperature. So you can see if your material is normal material, so you can see the behavior is this, okay, like this straight line. Okay, but if you have a superconducting material, okay, if you have a superconducting material and it's basically critical temperature, so you can see here ki, like at Tc, at critical temperature, your there is a change. Okay, there is a change, and the for superconducting material, the entropy is decreasing. You can see here, this is the entropy, and at this point, this the behavior is this. Okay, if you were only talking about a normal material, it should be like this now. But if you have a superconducting material and below Tc, it will automatically converting into a superconducting material, so it will be reduced like this. So entropy is reducing. And what is the meaning of entropy, guys? What is the meaning of entropy? You know the mathematical term of entropy, but what is the entropy? What is the physical significance of this?
Disorder,
F
Yes.
is
random.
equal to Q by dQ by T.
Yeah, this is the mathematical, but I think who spoke, Shravya? Uh,
Disorder.
disorder. Disorder. Okay, it's basically describing the disorder. So the entropy is less for your superconducting material. So that means your superconducting material, in superconducting materials, your particles are more ordered. Okay, you can see all the particles or electrons are in the same pattern. Okay, so it is a ordered state. Okay, so superconductors are more ordered than the normal material. Okay, so in, yeah, so in type 1 superconductors, that means superconducting state, yeah, right. And the order of this means the distance up to which this order is remaining. Okay, it is nearly 10 to the power minus, where, yeah, this is 10 to the power minus 6 meters in type 1 superconductors. And this length, this ordered length, is also known as coherence length. Okay, so remember this graph. Okay, the graphs are very common in gate examination. They will give you four graphs, and they will ask you what is the best explanation of the entropy when the transformation is occurring from normal to superconducting state. Okay, so you have to answer. So now let us see the behavior of specific heat. The behavior of specific heat. So what is the specific heat for your solids? We know in solids we have two types of specific heats. Okay, what is this term? What is this? And what are the two types of specific heats in solids? मैंने ही पढ़ा है आपको. You should be.
Electronic specific heat and lattice specific heat.
Yeah, good. So this is the first term is your electronic specific heat, okay, because if you know the formula of this E, electronic specific heat, if we talk about this formula is basically 3 by 2 N K N K T. Okay, so this is proportional to, from here CV you can route is proportional to T. So your second term is lattice specific heat, and what we have seen in the uh, three models, okay, Einstein model and classical using classical theory and device theory, that our specific heat is proportional to T cube, is proportional to T cube. This is the lattice specific heat. So this is electronic and this is lattice specific heat. Okay, so this electronic specific heat, basically this let me use the pointer. Okay, this electronic specific heat means the first term, okay, is smaller in the normal state. Okay, means if you are comparing this CES, electronic specific heat, between the two superconducting materials and normal materials, so this term is smaller in normal state at low temperature, but this CES becomes larger than CEN as the transition temperature. So let us uh, see the behavior in graph. So this is the heat capacity and temp T over Tc. Okay, so in if it was a normal material, so the behavior will be like this straight line. Okay, this was for the normal state. But if you are using this, you are drawing this graph for your superconducting material, so the behavior will be like this. First your specific heat will increase like this, and at temperature equal to the critical temperature Tc, it will reduce like this. So there is a, you can see the sharp increase and sharp decrease. Okay, and sharp decrease at Tc. So we will only talk about the decrease because we are concerned about the critical temperature. What is happening at critical temperature? Because at critical temperature only your state is changing. Your state is changing from superconducting to normal materials. Okay, so you can see the behavior will be like this. But if it was a normal material, it will be like this, straight only. Okay, so this is the behavior of specific heat in superconducting material. So now this is this is actually the reason. If we I want to ask what is the superconductivity, so you will tell me the answer. But if I'm asking like why this phenomena is happening, why, from where this thing is coming, okay, what is the reason that certain materials are behaving as a superconductors? So the reason is given by the three scientists, Wardin, Cooper, and Schrieffer. And on the basis of the names, the theory is called BCS theory. Okay, and this was a very famous theory at that time, because first we discovered superconductors, and then these three scientists gave the reason. They exactly explain what is the behavior, what is the reason behind the superconductivity. So this is very very important, and they also got the Nobel Prize, okay, for this discovery. So the main point, the main reason of this theory, this phenomena, is basically the formation of Cooper pairs. Okay, so what is a Cooper pairs? Means this is the basically pair of electron. So okay, so pairing of electrons is taking place in superconductors, and this pairing is basically occurring near the Fermi level, and this pair is known as Cooper pair. This pair is known as Cooper pair, which is responsible for superconductivity. And you know the pair is formed by two electrons. And why, what is the process, why these two electrons are pairing? Because you know electrons are having the same charge, so they should repel each other, but they are forming a pair, and this pair is known as Cooper pair. So the reason is due to the interaction with the crystal lattice, because we are in a crystal, we are talking about the crystal in whole solid state physics. So in crystal lattice, due to the interaction between these electrons and crystal lattice, this pair is forming. Okay, and this is due to some phenomena when there is a short period and slight, very slow interaction is taking place between the electrons, and we will tell you in detail why. Okay, so the electrons are coupled, okay, due to the phonon interaction, because when we are talking about lattice, crystal lattice, and crystal lattice vibrations, so what are the vibrations? You know that they are the phonon. So due to the phonon interactions, your electrons are attracting to each other and forming a pair, and that pair is known as Cooper pair. Okay, so this pair of electron, this pair of electron is very different, because if we talk about only single electron, it is a single electron, so the behavior of single electron is different from the behavior of the pair of electron. And how it's different? Your single electron is fermion. You have studied about the Fermi Dirac statistics. Okay, in last lecture, I think ma'am, Monica ma'am will, they have already discussed about these statistics. So you know your electron is fermion, right? And if it's fermion, if it is basically following the Fermi Dirac statistics, it should also follow the Pauli exclusion principle. Means no two electrons, you can say more than two electrons can stay in single state. So your pair of electron here is not behaving as fermion, it is behaving as boson. Okay, it is behaving as boson, and which can condense into the same energy levels. Okay, so the electron pair have a slightly lower energy. Okay, and it can leave an energy gap above them on the order of 0.0 electron volt. That means they are basically forming below the Fermi level. Suppose this is your Fermi level EF. So the Cooper pair, where the Cooper pair is forming just below your Fermi level. And what is the energy difference between them? The energy difference is the order of this 0.01 electron volt. 0.001 electron volt. Okay, so how you can get this much energy? You know the energy, thermal energy at normal temperature. Do you know? Do you know the thermal energy at normal temperature, at room temperature? Yes or no?
Boltzmann constant,
Huh?
KBT. I think KBT is a normal temperature thermal energy.
That is the formula, but I am asking the figure. It's 25 MeV. 25. Okay, so it's very small. If you will convert in electron volt, it will be very small. But greater than this value means the lower amount of thermal energy can break this. Okay, and the material will be converted. So this energy will be very small, means the Cooper pair can easily, we can easily break the Cooper pair. And once you will break the pairing of Cooper pairs, so there will be no Cooper pair, means your superconducting material will be normal material. You get this?
मैम एक बार फिर से एक्सप्लेन कर दो.
Yeah, bilkul. Let me show here the details, the highlights of this, and now I will tell you what is the processor. So you can see this is the Cooper pair, means you can see like in your crystal there will be electrons, there will be different electrons, and there will be lattice, means the ions. Okay, so due to the lattice vibrations, we have already discussed about the lattice vibrations. Okay, so due to suppose we have a phonon, because if we talk about the lattice vibrations, so we are saying that a phonon is moving. So once a phonon is moving, what it if just near, just in the neighborhood of this electron, a phonon is passing, so the effect will also be shared by this electron. Okay, so for some time, if phonon is moving from here, this electron will behave for few time only. It will behave as a positive quantity, positive identity. And at that time, this electron will attract the second electron in its neighborhood. And these two electrons will form a pair. Okay, and okay, they will form a Cooper pair. So what it was the reason, huh? Yeah, due to the electron phonon interaction, due to the interaction between this electron and the phonon, the Cooper pair is forming. Okay, and the energy of this Cooper pair is 0.001 electron volt. Okay, so the energy is very, very small. So that's why you can easily break this pairing. Okay, because if you see, the Cooper pair is forming just below the Fermi energy level. Okay, so if you will give the energy to your Cooper pair greater than this value, so they will move to the Fermi energy level. So that's why you get the phenomena of superconductivity at low temperature, means below 20 Kelvin. And okay, so it's a very low temperature once you will convert in degrees Celsius. So at high temperature means at moderate temperature, 20 Kelvin is basically low temperature. So very small amount of thermal energy is sufficient to break the Cooper pair. So that means it can easily convert your superconducting materials to normal material, right? And these Cooper pairs are basically, they are two electrons, so they are basically boson. Okay, they are boson, so we can say they can condense, they can stay into the same energy levels. They are not behaving as electrons anymore. Okay, means fermions anymore. So this is the reason of superconductivity, and these are the highlights. Means at low temperature materials suddenly become superconductor when the electrons make Cooper pairs. You know this thing. Electron phonon interaction is responsible actually to make Cooper pairs. Electron pairs are coupled over a range of 100 nanometer greater than the lattice spacing. Means the distance between the two electrons in Cooper pair is of the order of 100 nanometer, and this distance is greater than the distance between the lattice. Means inside the crystal, the two lattices are separated by distance 0.1 to 4 nanometer. Means the lattice spacing or lattice constant. The pairing energy of Cooper pair is this 0.001 electron volt. That means, you know, a little energy, thermal energy can easily break them. Okay, and they are composite boson. So these are the important features of BCS theory. This is also a image where you can easily understood what is the like this. Okay, so you can see this, these are the lattices, means they are ions. Okay, these are the ions, and due to the vibrations they are moving like this. We see the longitudinal mode and transverse modes in lattice theory. Okay, so due to the vibrations, the electrons are also affecting, and the formation of Cooper pair is there. Okay, so this is the reason of Cooper pair. Okay, so yeah, this problem is from NET exam. If flux quantum is approximately equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 Gauss centimeter square, a type 2 superconductor is placed in a small magnetic field, which is then slowly increased till the field starts penetrating the superconductor. The strength of the field at this point is this. So they are asking the penetrating depth of this superconductor. So what is the penetration depth? Lambda L or lambda. They are asking what is the lambda, and what we have the value of flux, means phi, and you can see the unit also. This is your phi, and they are talking about type 2 superconductor and the strength of the field at this point. Okay, means it is your HC1. So you have HC1, you have phi, and they are asking lambda. So we will use the formula I mentioned there. This formula. your HC1 relation between the first critical field and the penetration depth. So this is the formula. HC1 equals to phi naught upon pi L square. You have the value of phi naught, you have the value of HC1. Put all the values in the same unit. This is in Gauss and this is also in Gauss centimeter square. So put if you are putting in CGS unit, so put all the values in the same unit. Okay, otherwise convert all in MKS unit. So you can easily find the answer. So your lambda is 10 to the power minus 6 centimeter. So that means it's 100 angstrom. So this formula is very important. So okay, just remember this formula and you can solve problems. So this is not a tough problem. So your next problem is also from June exam, NET exam. The critical magnetic fields of a superconductor at temperature 4 Kelvin at 8 Kelvin are 11 milliampere per meter and 5.5 milliampere per meter respectively. So the transition temperature is approximately. So what they are asking?
Critical temperature TC.
Okay. They are asking, and we have a same material, right? We have a same material and at different temperature means, suppose this is your T1, this is your T2, because temperature is different. So your your critical magnetic field will be different, means HC it will be HCT1, it will be HC2T2. So your material is same now, so transition temperature TC will be same. So they are asking what is this TC. So you know this formula. You know this formula. We have mentioned that a relation between critical magnetic field and temperature is this: Hc equals to Hc0 1 minus T over Tc to whole square. Okay. So suppose your T1 is 4 Kelvin, they have given, and second temperature they have given that your T2 is 8 Kelvin. Okay. And at this temperature, suppose our Hc is HCT1 and HC2T2, and we have already the values. So just divide these two equations like this. So now you can solve these equations and you can find the value of this TC in terms of these two HCT1, HCT2 and T1, T2. So this will be your final formula. Okay, so I skipped few steps. Okay, so you can solve and find that it will be this. And you have all the values. Your HCT2 is 5.5. So this will be actually, let me correct, I think. Okay. So it will be 1 HC1 T1 and it is T2. HC at T2. So just put all the values and you can find your critical temperature is 10 to the power 10.6 Kelvin. Means your option B is correct. Okay. I don't think कि you आपको कुछ confusion होगा इस question में कोई issue है? So you can
No,
ask.
no.
No, ma'am.
Yes. It's easy actually. So now you can tell me the answer of this question. This is from GATE. Just read and try to. Amongst the electrical resistivity rho, thermal conductivity K, specific heat C, Young's modulus Y, and magnetic susceptibility chi, which quantities show a sharp change at the superconducting transition temperature? Means they are asking that we have seen few graph. So they are asking that at this temperature Tc, at Tc, what are the quantities at which you see the sharp change? So let's start with rho. You know the electrical resistivity. if your material is going from converting from superconducting material to normal material, so there will be a change in this term or not? Your electrical resistivity is going to be changed or not? Just give me the answer.
Change, ma'am.
Yeah. So your because your R is
It
changed.
will change, ma'am.
I think Shravya is speaking.
Either option C is Aarti is correct.
Okay. Okay. So Aarti is telling that option C is correct. Okay. Justin, Shravya, Arya, Hasmukh, give me your answer. Yes, Hasmukh.
Yes, ma'am. I think C is correct.
Okay. So Hasmukh is also saying C. Shravya.
But ma'am, I'm not sure about that because
But okay, we
he
will
told
see. We
R
will see
change.
this later. Or let me collect all the answers. Okay. So yeah, Shravya, tell me what is the correct answer according to you?
I have a doubt on thermal conductivity, ma'am. Remaining and all will change, but thermal conductivity I'm not sure.
Okay. Arya, you there?
Yes, ma'am.
So what should be the correct option?
I think it's B, ma'am. B.
D.
Option B. B.
Arya is saying B. Uh, okay, Pearl is there. Pearl. Yeah, just tell me quickly. Pearl and Justin.
Ma'am, option B.
B. Justin. And Pearl.
Ma'am, I also think option B because I don't know about Young's modulus. And
Okay, and who? किससे नहीं पूछा मैंने? Justin, Aarti, Arya, Hasmukh, Pearl, I think, and Shravya. Okay. So guys, C. Okay, so row is correct. Okay, row should change, right? Today we didn't talk about your conductivity, thermal conductivity. We talked about specific heat, and we have seen that C is changed. Okay, so your C should be correct. Okay, rho and she Young's modulus. Young's modulus it doesn't. इसका कोई मतलब नहीं, ठीक है? Magnetic susceptibility का है? At superconducting material at TC, you have seen that they are behaving at a perfect diamagnetic material. So it's also going to affect. Okay, so this option is the correct option. Okay, why C is not correct? Because in C you have K. So thermal conductivity is not the we can see the property which is going to affect if we are transforming from normal to superconducting state. Okay, so your option B
Ma'am,
is yes.
ma'am, thermal conductivity depends on temperature. So when we can change the temperature, then thermal conductivity also changes.
Yeah, but we are talking about a sharp change at superconducting transition. Means
Okay.
suppose it is moving like this. Suppose your thermal conductivity is changing like this with temperature. So change is there, but not a sharp change at TC. Okay, like if you have seen about the resistivity, the behavior of resistivity like this. It is first like this, and at TC it is just like this. And in other graphs also you have seen that at TC there will be sharp change, sharp peak. But if the behavior will be like this now, so it's changing, but there is not a sharp change. So we are talking about sharp change. Okay, so your option B is correct option. Okay guys.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, so this was all about the today's lecture. And in next lecture now we will also discuss about few things of superconductivity. Okay, so Josephson effect and also few more things which are important. Energy gap we will discuss about. So in two lectures, I think in two lectures we will complete this solid state physics. Okay, and we will discuss about the magnetism in solids also, and bonding in solids. Okay, So we have few topics remaining. So we will cover in 2 lectures. So your solid will be complete, and then I will start classical mechanics. Okay. And guys, from Thursday, uh, your electronics will be your electronics lecture will be there by Mr. Sandeep. So timing, I will share with you the whole schedule for the next for this week. Okay. So please don't miss your classes. And how your all the classes are going on. Nuclear KB, you have I think 3 classes, na? 3 or 4.
Yes, ma'am.
See,
So
ma'am.
Three,
yeah,
ma'am.
3 na? Okay. So how about nuclear classes? समझ में आ रहा है? Any doubt, any confusion, any feedback?
मैम
Hmm.
मैथमेटिक्स थोड़ा टफ पड़ रहा है मुझे.
Why like क्यों टफ क्यों पड़ रहा है आपको? Like reason
मैम
बताओ.
पहले से ही थोड़ा सा टफ पड़ रहा है. थोड़ी मेहनत ज्यादा करनी पड़ रही है मैथमेटिकल में.
Okay, so it's because the pattern and or the sir बहुत ज़्यादा content cover करते हैं. What is the reason?
नो मैम, समझ में सब आ जाता है, लेकिन जब आप ट्राई करने जाते हैं ना तो अब थोड़ा बहुत बाकी सब
Yeah.
सब्जेक्ट से ज्यादा टफ पड़ता है.
जब हाँ इट्स वही मैथमेटिकल में यू नीड प्रैक्टिस आई मीन देर इज नो explanation as such. You have to come you have to solve the problem. So but mathematical is I think mathematical is scoring so है ही, but it's easy also. So if you are like this, if आपको लग रहा है, so I will tell you that do practice, because in other subjects ना there will be problem. Like किसी भी concept से they will convert and they will give you the problem, but in mathematical if you have like uh, prepared it in a very good manner na, so you can easily solve problems in exam. So you have HK Das.
यस यस
हाँ,
आई हैव
so
2
if you
बुक्स.
have हाँ तो HK Das में there will be so many questions. Okay, I think सब कुछ ही है उसमें, कॉम्प्लेक्स है, वेक्टर आपका, all the topics are there, all the syllabus actually is in your HK Das. So for practice now you should refer HK Das, you should solve problems in HK Das. Okay, so आपको concepts clear हो जाएंगे. Okay, still if you
ओके मैम.
have confusion, so just uh, write down your all the queries now. After the completion of your paper we will like 1 or 2 paper we can 1 or 2 lecture will be there. Okay, and then